you can't call in a credit card number, but quite literally you did, and I asked them when I got over there, and they said, no, you do have to come in. So, other than that, it was wonderful, and they did a great job.
Did we stay within budget then?
I believe we did, yes.
What was our original budget?
Well, we had our own internal, we sort of talked about.
Yeah, so I put together an approximate budget, ran it by John. What was it total? It was, I can tell you, the whole thing was well under,
We were talking about 900, and I think you came in at about 7.
probably, yeah. Yeah,
So it's 565 or thereabouts.
I know, it really was, particularly because we chose to stream music, which I think in the end turned out fairly well, because if we would have had live music, there were so many people in here, and
The acoustics weren't perfect.
yeah, so it actually turned, we made the decision based on money, but it turns out that that was probably the better decision anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, under $100,000, $100,000. No, under $1,000, I think that, you know, that seems good.
Well, especially for something we weren't sure about, and the wine budget was based upon usage, so that made it a little harder. We didn't know just exactly where we were going to go there, so, yeah, sure.
Just a little bit of input. One of the nicest things that I heard, and I heard more than once from people, was it's so nice that the village is finally having a get-together for grown-ups. You have events for children all of the time, and those of us who have no children are pretty much out in the cold. And this is the first time the village has reached out to those of us who want to be adults. And I heard that about 4 times, and I thought it was absolutely delightful.
Well, I know that the board meetings don't necessarily qualify as activities for adults, but this is the first time we have a party for adults.
Well, they said an activity where people could get together in the village, where adults could get together.
And it was good that people were here from virtually, or literally, I should say, all parts of the village. And that was a very good thing. Okay, moving on, statement of economic interest. You all should have gotten your email from the county. Unlike prior years where they call you bad names and keep bugging you with more emails, there is actually a pecuniary penalty if you don't file on time. So while I would encourage you to file under any of that, there is a reason to make sure you do get your statement of interest filed this year. This is something new. Cheryl, do you remember how much it was that the fine was? $15?
It wasn't a lot. Then there was some additional sort of penalty that wasn't pecuniary after that. I don't remember what it was. But they clearly have changed the rules, and they're being more insistent about get this done.
Yeah, I recognize that it's a little bit tedious to do, but certainly you should do it because it's the right thing to do. But again, there are consequences if you don't, so I don't want anybody to run afoul of that. Okay, we already had the report from J.P. Morgan. Visitors wishing to address the board? Hearing none, moving on to action items. A, donation policy review and consideration of donations to Center for Enriched Living and Deerfield Parents Network. At this point, we did not include the 2 requests, so I don't know that you want to act on that. But as far as the donation policy, I think the report is fairly straightforward, that we should keep the same criteria. The committee will make recommendations based upon a lower maximum than had been our historic. There was no limit in the old policy. I still believe that's a decision and a responsibility that it should be made by the committee, and then the board can act based on circumstances. In the past, it had been 5,000, and due to the potential for financial restrictions in the future, we would drop that to 1,500 barring some unusual circumstance. And the other criteria would still be in place. The other change was to the application itself, where we listed some of our criteria, and we felt that that gave an implication that if you address these criteria, gee, you'll get your grant or your donation, and we didn't want to do that. While the criteria we think are valid to be considered, i.e. connection with the village, etc., we didn't think it was appropriate to put it actually in the application. Chris, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I think you covered it all. This was in response to the discussion the board had about having, or making any charitable donations at all. So because it's in our budget this year, we thought we would continue with the policy, but reduce the amount of any potential contribution. Given the review that we had earlier, where we had our cash projections, and we're talking about, revenue not increasing at the same rate as our expenses, it was probably a wise decision to start being more conservative in things that aren't directly related to the operation of the village. Then it would be the board's choice as you go into the budgeting for 2020, whether or not to even include a line item for charitable donations.
Any comments? I'm not sure that we're asking you to vote on anything, but we would like to at least get a little feedback if it.
Do we need to approve the donation, the revised donation?
No, because we're not really revising it. We're just saying how we would act on it. And the criteria and policy are really the same. I guess changing the form, I don't know if that would require a vote necessarily. Council, do you have anything?
I haven't seen what the proposed changes will be, so.
We just dropped off of some of the criteria that we listed that were looked at. Cheryl?
I think trustee Gibbons.
Mike, I didn't see you down there, sorry.
My comment would be that if, and I'm not saying this is the consensus of the board, but if the consensus of the board is that we are going to eliminate the policy of giving charitable donations, then I don't think the fact that it happens to be in the budget this year is compelling enough, excuse me, for me to just reduce it down to 1,500. I think if we're going to do away with it, we should make that decision, and we should do away with it immediately. I don't know why we would defer that until 2020.
Sure.
So, two questions. One, I believe that in the past it was simply our practice that we didn't give a donation over 5,000. It wasn't an actual policy. Okay.
There was no official.
So the 1,500 is simply what the committee's thinking. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay.
The board still has the discretion to grant
Yeah.
a donation, whatever they believe.
Okay, so whatever, and obviously the policy remains the same, that, the committee may make a recommendation, but the board may choose to do something different. And I don't know if it matters to the folks on the board. I had said, and when we talked about this previously, I was inclined to do away with these, and I think I would still be, whether it was 5,000 or 1,500, whatever the committee was thinking. If we do choose to go forward and consider donations, what was it that was on the last part of the form that would be dropped?
It was where we listed for the applicant's criteria that we would be considering it. It gave the impression that if you said you have this or we're doing that, etc., that more of an entitlement, so to speak.
So if we do continue to consider donations, certainly I don't want to give applicants the idea that simply because they fill out a form, they are going to be granted a donation. But it is relevant to me and my personal vote, how they interact with the Village of River Woods, how many people they service, and to what extent.
We are not changing that. One thing I would ask, because I understand we definitely wrestle with whether we should be eliminating this. some organizations such as the Deerfield Parents Network and the After Prom party are things that are not necessarily charity per se, but things that do involve our residents and our students, etc., so that there's more of a direct benefit to us, or in helping the police explorers in Lincolnshire, because they then provide assistance to us at no cost. So we would like to see that post remain open. So there are those things which are simply good causes and those which are more related to actual village activities or things. And so we would need to ask for direction. How would we include those, or if we simply eliminate all of those? Bruce?
Well, like, the application, I think, still stands. If you want to get money from the village for your cause, your charity, you would fill out an application for that. And the application is actually very thorough. It gets to a lot of the same points that I think you, Cheryl was alluding to. But even the Parents Network has filled out an application. All of those things have filled out an application. So the application process would not go away. I think the policy, if the board chose not to have a policy at all, or to have a budget item for donations, you could still have somebody apply for these things, and it would be brought to the board, and the board could do an individual yes or no. The amount of the donations are typically well within the mayor's discretionary spending, but he has in the past been transparent about who comes for what. So the broader question, should we or should we not have a donation policy? Should we or should we not have charitable donations? It's hard to answer. If you say no, then what do you do with things like the Parents Network, who it's a community thing. If you have a donation policy and you have the application, you've got some kind of structure around that, and then you could simply, bring everything to the board, bring each to the board, and not have a budget item. But having a budget item sitting out there, I think the committee thought that, well, as long as we've got a budget item, and, changing course mid-year, that sort of thing. But point well taken with Trustee Hager's comment about, so what?
Yeah, we're not opposed to not spending money in the budget. I mean, nobody ever was upset when we come in below the number you projected, so I think I certainly too would agree with that statement. Now I'm looking for a little help on what we should be putting together. Should we have a total no donations at all, or what about those things that do seem to benefit the village? Mike, do you have any thoughts on that? Oh, you did? Oh, sorry.
Waiting.
I thought you were pointing at Mike. I hadn't cleared it looks black. Sorry, Rick. Mike, I'll ask you anyway, but let me speak first. Sorry.
Patiently.
I yield my time.
I'm one of the people that think that we shouldn't be giving donations to most of the people we've been giving donations to. I do think that things like the Parents Network, the After Prom, the Explorers, I think those are things we should be giving money to if they ask. I did talk to Ken Street, the village manager in Deerfield, and his comment was that they do not have a policy, they do not give money to anybody but the high school. And so I'm not sure where that falls in our, but they don't give any charitable donations. Deerfield doesn't. So, and I know we don't have to be like Deerfield, but and we don't want to be like Deerfield necessarily. But I don't think that organizations that have the ability to have fundraising and have people dedicated to do fundraising should be coming to the village and asking us to give our residents money for that, because our residents aren't getting a voice in that. So, and you can say the same thing about the high school, but I think the high school serves enough people in the village, and as you pointed out, the
anything better.
I can decipher that, but.
What I'm hearing is, well, go ahead, Chris, if you
No, I
want
was
to.
going to say
I
that's
was
an
gonna
interesting
say-
distinction.
We should probably step back, because I'm hearing that really, other than something that has a semi-governmental function type relationship to the village, we should not be making donations to. So you would want us to draft something a little more along those lines.
Yeah,
Is
the
that,
the fundraising distinction, I think, is an interesting point. You know, if you have the ability, or you have a organization or some kind of structure in place that is in the business of raising funds, and that would not be the Deerfield Parents Network, you know, something like that.
well, we all know this sort of goes back to when a certain organization came and we had moved from being a support to being virtually their sole support. And when Trustee Haber asked them, did they try to get any donations from our residents, they said, oh, they wouldn't give us anything. So we all said, why should we be doing it? And it kind of brought that home. And
Okay.
I think there's something that Henry,
I think when this came up a couple weeks ago, I was certainly inclined as to Trustee Jamerson and that you do see tax money for us to pick and choose which charity we give to. I think it's a real problem unless the service is provided to us directly to a village such as the Explorers. In that situation, we are getting a direct benefit versus charity which doesn't give Riverwoods a direct benefit. And I agree with the distinction.
would you include the high school parents group supporting, et cetera, too? Or I'm just trying to find where the levels fall.
As long as we were looking at whatever high schools took our students, and I believe they go to more than one high school, don't they?
They go to, well, the public schools would be Stevenson and Deerfield, and private schools obviously run the gamut, but
Yeah.
we're not talking about that. That would probably fall inside of what we're
I
talking
don't
about.
know. I haven't given it that much thought, but I do have a feeling regarding charitable organizations versus those organizations that directly benefit Riverwoods.
I think that's what I'm trying to say, that we're really hearing, that all these other groups may be good.
That would be a community-based organization.
I don't know if I'd say community-based, but at least providing services to our community,
Find someone.
something along those lines. I mean, Chris will have to wrestle with trying
Yeah,
to say it.
yeah,
Cheryl?
Yeah, because before you had said something about quasi-governmental, I don't think we're running into the township. And there are other community-based organizations, but they are not-for-profits and do not necessarily have their direct benefit or even their most impactful benefit to the village of Riverwoods.
Okay, well, again, I think we kind of hear it, so, well, Chris won't be here at the next meeting, so hopefully Eric will be, Chris, when are you leaving?
50.
Okay, so we have a little time to work on this before we take off. Okay, so no need to vote on it, because we need to come back to you then with a more formed policy that would be a distinctive difference. There's no other new business, old business. The Disappointed River Watershed resolution will be continued to the next meeting, where representatives from the watershed group will come and explain what's happening within the village, et cetera, explain more of the impact. So there's no business. Standing committee reports, Trustee Haber,
I don't have anything to report.
Trustee Chamberlain.
You've already heard what I've been doing, but I will be meeting with Steve Zimmerman to go over the annual review that we do with the cost share programs. So if anyone has any comments about those, I would like to hear them. Thank you.
Trustee Jamerson.
Building reports in the packet. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Trustee Ford.
NSSRA has a special meeting scheduled for this Thursday, and the result of that meeting I will probably be bringing to you first meeting in April.
Trustee Goldstein is just landed a short time ago, coming back from Mexico. bills and all those good values to you. Trustee Hollander?
No report.
All right, I know there's no reason to go into executive session. Does anyone have anything for the good of the order? Hearing none, I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor, signify by saying